Our coverage continues with an unavoidably disturbing part of this story. President Trump's response to this series of mail bombings, this ongoing mystery. He is now trying to blame others, including the media, for stoking anger. I'm going to speak next to Tony Schwartz, the co-author of The Art of the Deal, who says that Trump's reaction reveals a personal view that he's under siege. Now, in Trump's first public response, he called for the country to come together. But then last night, he singled out who should be blamed: the press.
As part of a larger national effort to bridge our divides and bring people together, the media also has a responsibility to set a civil tone and to stop the endless hostility and constant negative and oftentimes false attacks and stories. Have to do it. They've got to stop. Bring people together.
You know this man. What is he doing there, and how do you combat it?
Well, I can answer the first. I'm not certain about the second. That's pure projection. That's putting on other people exactly what he's feeling about himself because he can't bear to see it or because he literally doesn't see it. But in these times when he's under stress, what you can count on is that in his public statements and in his tweets, he's saying what he is feeling himself, but projecting onto his critics.
He also works within the construct of the rules and why he's trying to convey to his people that all the rules are basically bull. And some rules are up for debate. I mean, that's what happens in society. But some of the rules that he's referring to right now are the rules that keep people safe. They're the rules that make the difference between whether we have a civic society of debate or not, whether Secret Service agents have to die. An oath they take, they're willing to die, but whether they have to die or not. Those rules are pretty important. Take a look to the very glib way that he talks about the rules of the civil, safe, nonviolent discourse, also in that rally last night about being nice.
And by the way, do you see how nice I'm behaving tonight? This is like, have you ever seen this? We're all behaving very well. And hopefully we can keep it that way, right? We're going to keep it that way. You know, I'm trying to say that very nicely. I'm trying to... See, normally I'd scream, they want a socialist takeover. Now I say, once a socialist takeover. I'm trying to be nice.
Like this is a big joke. This is not a joke. This is not a drill. We're all here making sense of it. He's on TV. We're on TV. We're trying to deal with it. But we don't know, and he doesn't know, whether tomorrow somebody gets hurt or the next day somebody gets murdered.
Ari, his world is like this. So he's living inside the reality, which is it's all about me. And that begins with the rules don't apply to me. So I can do whatever I want to do. I do believe he has rules, but the rules are for other people. He does not have any rules for himself. And that's what you're watching in this situation. He actually is acting as if he's doing shtick. He's at the Comedy Cellar on a Friday night trying to get some laughs. And the success of that is, did I entertain them? Not, did I act in my role as the leader of the free world and the commander-in-chief in a time of great crisis to calm the waters and to establish what values we ought to live by?
I also want to play from the campaign era his appeals to violence, which are quite relevant in this moment. Take a look.
If you see somebody getting ready to throw a tomato, knock the crap out of them, would you? Seriously. Okay? Just knock the hell. I promise you, I will pay for the legal fees. I promise. I promise. There won't be so much because the courts agree with us, too. What's going on in this country?
Given the time you've spent with him, what do you see as his relationship with the specter of violence? In the modern era, post-civil rights movement, that has been largely driven out of mainstream rhetoric until Trump. If you go back to the civil rights era, and obviously racist governors and the abuse of the police powers, you have it then. But George W. Bush didn't talk this way. George Bush Sr. didn't talk this way. Barack Obama never talked this way. Explain to us what you understand to be his fascination with violence and the way he's infused that in his politics.
So when I go back to the late 1980s, his obsession he had two obsessions. One was with football and surrounding himself with football players. Remember Herschel Walker in the USFL, and the other was with boxing. And, you know, he was a huge boxing fan and boxing promoter. He loved black people to violence against other black people while he watched. So when he says, I'll pay the legal bills, that's a bully talking. You do the violence.
Right, someone else do it.
Yeah, I'll watch the violence. I wouldn't go near it because it would terrify me, but I love watching it. Why? Because underneath that is rage. This is a man of great rage, and the rage is he's aggrieved. He's in the business of being aggrieved, and he's using that in these 10, 12 days leading up to the midterms to try to bring it out in all the people that are possibly going to vote on the Republican side during this next phase.
Right, and we are here in the context of the midterms. Tony Schwartz, a man who knows these issues well, I appreciate your insights. Interesting, if obviously a serious and sad time.